to be leaving my house before 12:30. So I'm going to try to be brief and give you guys some content. But what I want to talk about today is it's some info that I learned at Summit. So Beachbody has their summit every year, and April actually won her summit ticket officially. Woo! So like awesome. So basically, to get your summit ticket, you have to hit Success Club your first 3 months in the business. That's just Success Club 5. It does not even have to be 10, and it's helping 3 people every month. And she did that. So amazing. So awesome. So she'll be going to New Orleans. So hopefully, Megan, you can make plans to join us in New Orleans next year too for Summit. It's just an incredible experience. Like I can't even put words to it. It's just awesome. And you learn so much, but it's a great time for our team to connect to and like really feel like what this is all really about. Because for so long, I thought it was all about the programs. And then once I recognized that like this was a way for me to improve my entire life, it's changed everything for me. And I've grown even this last year, like grown as a person. And I just think, you know what, if I don't ever make a ton of money doing this, like the fact that I am a better person and I'm growing personally, that is enough. That is enough. Like God's going to take care of the money part, but like to be healthy on the inside and out, like why wouldn't you do this? Like that's just kind of how I feel about it. So this info is mostly from Melanie Mitro, who is the top coach in Beachbody. She has been 2 years in a row, and she was a teacher. I believe it was I think maybe it was a special needs. Maybe it wasn't a special needs teacher. Anyway, she ended up having a master's degree, but worked in the school system and was having her children and did not want to go back to work. And someone had asked her multiple times to participate in a challenge group. No, she's like, no, it's totally okay. I don't need to do that. And then someone approached her about coaching, and she was like, I don't think that that's for me. She did not even have a Facebook at the time that she started. And so she has a pretty incredible story as far as that goes. But she obviously had really awesome things to share because she's grown her business from absolutely nothing. And she just this was a great topic. So I wanted to talk about it. And basically she talks about being extraordinary, and not just extraordinary, but extraordinary. And that goes both ways. She talks about how her vision is to be great, is greatness. And I think for me, sometimes I'm like, well, what does that really mean? Like, what do you mean be great? Like, but her opinion of that is that why would you think God would want anything less for you in your life but greatness? Because if you can say, my life is unbelievably great and it's because of what God has given you, why would you hold back on wanting greatness? And so she says, live extraordinary. What can you do to have an extraordinary life? And the way she prefaced that was extraordinary. It's going to take extra work. It's going to take extra belief. It's going to take extra faith. It's going to take extra on your part to live extraordinary. So that's the basis of her talk. And she has 5 steps. Basically, this is about team building, but I'm going to kind of break it down to where we can look at it from an individual perspective in growing a legacy. Because I think that we have priorities, we have a purpose. And for most of us who are wives, that's a purpose. That's a specific purpose that God placed on us. And he says, I know that you may not think you can do what you need to do as a wife or a mother, but it's the purpose I want for you. And so I'm going to equip you to do what you need to do. And so I view the business the same way, that God put this dream, put this thing in our heart to say, people can use this. Like we could help people to do this, to live a fulfilling, like happy life. It's not perfect and we're not perfect, but to have this sense of greatness. Like that's kind of how I feel when I've killed my workouts. I've gotten my nutrition on point. I've spent some time with the Lord. I have these team calls with you guys. Literally towards the end of the week, if I can sit back for just a second, I'm like, this is what greatness is. Like, this is what it is. It's being able to do what you want when you want. It's being able to be the best mom that you could be. It's being able to be the best wife that you could be. It's being able to be healthy and step up to that plate and help other people and then step back and say, okay, God, I gave it my all. Like, I did it. Now I need you to show up because you still know there's some things that need to be done. Like, that's what living a life of greatness is. But if you hear all the things that I said makes me feel good, it's that extra stuff that we have to do, because God's going to bless us, of course, but we have to show up. So her 5 tips, if you want to write this down, 5 tips to create a legacy. And I think you can use this really anywhere. We're going to talk very specifically about building a legacy within your business, but you can use this anywhere. So I'm going to name these out, and then we're going to kind of go back through, and I may change up a few of the titles as we go to make them make sense. But her number 1 thing is to make a choice. Choose what you want. What do you want out of life with your family? And what do you want out of this business? And I think this is a really, really crucial thing that, to be honest, I haven't just recently, I've really sat down and started thinking, what do I really want? I say, oh, I just want to help people. I just want to make others feel good. I just want to do my job. Like, what do you want? So it's great to say I want to help people, and it's great to say I want to leave my job, but what do you want? What do you want Beachbody to provide for you? What do you want to do in your life? And I honestly think this is so hard. This is really hard to wrap your brain around. So my challenge, I'm going to throw it at you up here front. My challenge for you is to pray on this. Write it out, look at it, and say, what in the heck do I really want out of all this? Because if it's just to hit Success Club 5 every month, if it's just to barely hang on and barely get your workouts in and have that just sense of, okay, I'm sort of doing this, like that lifeline, I don't think it's going to sustain a legacy. You have to have a bigger purpose. Like, what in the heck are you doing this for? And for me, some of it is like, I believe this is what God has been really, really speaking clearly to me lately is, number 1, he wants me to honor my husband, honor my relationship with my husband, so that it is modeled to the world, to me and to the world, of how much God loves me. For so long, I've had this skewed view of what God thinks of me. And then God gave me a husband who literally treats me how I know God would treat me. He treats me with kindness. He treats me with patience. He treats me with all this stuff. And so my mind is, I'm starting to recognize that and see really how God looks at me and how he views me. So I know that my number 1 priority for my life is to honor my husband. And that maybe sounds cliche, but we've struggled for so long that God is saying, sister, if you don't get that right, I'm not going to give you anything else. I'm not going to help you in any other way until you can get this right. Because I don't care how, I feel like the more success that you have in your life, if you don't have your priorities right, it's not going to balance. You're not going to have balance. So I have a husband who supports me, but I have to honor that relationship with him. So my biggest reason is that if I can be a Beachbody coach because it helps me be a better person, mind, body, and soul, and that helps me understand how important my relationship is with my husband, that's what it's about for me. I would not, if I knew if I was working in the ER and being stressed out and working crazy shifts, I would not recognize the need to better my relationship with my husband because I was focused on all the stress and the craziness that I was already dealing with. So God took me out of that so that I could see. He showed me this. So the second thing is as a mom, like that's a purpose for me. I want to be available for my children. So that feeds into what I want Beachbody to do for me. I want it to help me come home full time so that financially I can afford to be home and I can honor my responsibilities as a mom. But the thing about that is that's going to look different for everyone. Some moms want to be at work and they want to do that for themselves. And that's totally awesome. So I don't want you to think like I'm saying you have to be at home to have that purpose. No. I will work. I'm a worker and I'm going to work from home. But I just want to honor my responsibility to my children. The third thing that I know God has put me here on this earth to do is I can relate to medical moms. 100%. I can relate to the grunt work, to the stress, to the service that we provide to people. And I'm 100% confident that God allowed me to do what I have done through my education and my experience to be able to relate wholeheartedly to medical moms. And I believe he has said to me, okay, Chanel, now that you know what they do, this is who I want you to minister to. This is who I want you to pour into. This is who I want you to show Jesus. I want you to help them understand that they are enough, that they have what it takes to be the mom they want to be, that through God's grace, they will be the mom that they want to be, and incorporate some of this fancy stuff like fitness and nutrition because it's good for you. Like, it's a side note over here, right? So you see how Beachbody is not leading any of my purpose. What it is a tool that God has given us to use to fulfill our purpose. So if I didn't have the workouts, if I didn't have the nutrition help, I wouldn't be the best mom and the best wife. Like, that's just a tool that's saying I'm honoring my body. So that to me is what I want. I want to be able to be home and available for my kids. I want to be available for my husband. I want us to be able to give back. The fourth thing on my list of my purpose is that I love to give. And I said this yesterday on my live video, and I'll say it again here. If I could give every penny that I earn to someone and know that God will provide for me, I would do it. I would do it in a heartbeat. I tell my husband all the time, like, I want to just give, like, this is what they need. Can we, like, go buy them that car? Like, if I had the money, I would just go buy them the car. They need help. Like, that's what I want to do. So I know that God wants to use my family in that way. I know he wants to bless others in that way. And I know Beachbody can help me do that. I truly believe that it can provide the income that I need to bless others ridiculously. And that's what I want to do. So that's just an idea of how big we have to dream and how big we have to look at this. So what do you want? What do you really want out of this coaching business? And then the second part of that is, do you believe it's possible? Whatever it is that you want, like, do you believe it's possible? Because that takes a whole nother level of extraordinary measures. So your second thing is communicate your why. If you know what you want, it's much easier to share your vision with everyone else. And there's two different ways that I look at this. One is your individual, like trying to recruit people and sharing what we have to offer. If you know where you're going, then you can say, okay, this is where I've been. This is what has happened to me. This is what I've dealt with. This is the journey that I've been on. This is the solution that I found, and this is how I can help you with that. But if you don't know where you're going and you can't see, like, okay, God, I know he made me go through that because now I see where I'm really going. I know he saw me struggle. I know he allowed me to struggle with depression after I had my children. Because I know there's other moms out there that struggle with the exact same thing and they need help. They need me to help them because I'm recovering through that. I'm struggling and I still struggle, but I'm recovering through that. Like, that's just an example of thinking about what do you want and communicating where you're going with people. So think about, these are just a couple things to write down. What are your personal fears and struggles and things that you needed help with 5 months ago? Or what are they? What are some right now? And think about the people that you want to surround you. I think about you guys. I think about, okay, y'all are the kind of people that I want to share the rest of my life with. And what are your struggles? What do you struggle with? Well, some simple thing that we just talked about was time, and how the Beachbody app has totally changed that time factor for us, because you don't have to have time. You literally open the app and say, bam, did my Shakeology, bam, did my workout, like, done. And then you can go back to being a mommy, like what we want, right? So think about the struggles that you've had and think about the solutions that you have found to these struggles, and then communicate that. So the next time you're going to create a post on Facebook where you're thinking, okay, we're going to have Core de Force, the new program that's coming out, and I saw a coach advertise, she's going to post, advertise for this program, Fight Like a Girl. Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to post Fight Like a Mama. And you guys run with that. I'm going to come up with a creative post, and that's what I'm going to be posting for the next week. Fight like a mama. and I want to have my kids in the picture. Like, and in that post, I don't want you to say, join me for my next program. I want you to say, this is what I'm fighting for. And you list the things that you're fighting for, reasons why you're doing this. That's the difference in communicating your why and just asking people to join you. And that's also for when you start adding coaches to your team, keep that in the back of your mind. Like, I want you guys to know where I'm going because I want you to come with me. If you don't know where I'm going, then there's really no reason to keep plugging along. Like I've told you guys before, like I literally have a beach house picked out that we're going to have team retreats at. Like, come, I'll pay for the whole thing because I love you and I want to do that. And I want us to just hang out with some freaking margaritas on the beach and have a good time as sisters. Like, that's my vision. That's my dream. Like, I need you guys around me for life. And I can't do that without what Beachbody is going to do for us. Like, I already know he's going to do it. God's going to do that, and then Beachbody's going to they're going to come together. So think about that when you're growing your team, but think about that now in the post. So when you make your post about you wanting people to join you, just think like, okay, what would a mama that's reading this, how can I connect with her? How could I help her see herself in this post and then have no choice but to say, April, tell me exactly what the heck I need to do. Like, that's what we need to be saying. So communicate with people why you're doing what you're doing. The third thing is collaborate on a plan. So collaboration basically means work as a team, work as a group. Like me asking you guys, what do you think? What should we do? Is that working? Is that not working? That's the same thing that you need to be doing with your challengers. Just like what you said, April, I just send them a message and I say, what's working? What's not working? What can I do? So this is just reinforcing what I have taught you guys to do. Like, check in once a week at least. And then when you build your teams, collaborate. Say, I'm the leader, but I'm not really the leader. I'm the facilitator. Let's do this together. So collaborate on your plan. And this is also where duplication comes in. Because when we have a plan and we know, okay, well, when we ask someone to join a challenge group, well, what do we do next? Well, we ask them what would work for them, and then we recommend a program. And then, okay, well, they want to join as a discount. Well, now what do we do? Okay, well, we know that we want to get them involved in at least some of the coach training so they at least know what that is. And then, like, you have a plan, a duplicatable plan for everything that you do. Same thing with our calendar every month. We know, okay, this week of the month, we host this. This week of the month, we host this. And the reason is so that we can collaborate and duplicate everything that we do. And then the fourth thing is commit to the process. Commitment. Do what you said you're going to do. So if you are committing to your program, I cannot emphasize enough, as a coach, you have to start and finish every single program. And let's say that you started the 21-Day Fix Extreme and you're like, okay, this is really hard and I know I'm going to have to push myself, and you actually talked yourself out of working out for 2 days. Guess what I would do? I would admit that to Facebook. I would admit that to the app and say, I screwed up and I'm not going to take this. I am better than that. I'm going to start over, and I'm starting over on this day, and I'm going to kill it this time. Commit to what you started with. And if that means the business you joined as a coach, like in my opinion, there's a way to make this work, but you have to push through with the commitment. If you're not committed, it's going to seem like it's not going to work. But you guys know how I feel about that. Like, there's no perfect way to do this, and you're never going to do anything wrong. So you just have to stay committed to what you said you were going to do. And that's the same thing with growing a team and also running our challenge groups. It's all across the board. Commit to the process and just believe that it's going to work. And so that's why it's helpful for me to talk with you guys about, okay, app versus Facebook. Like, I get myself all in this. I want to make sure they're doing well. I want to make sure I'm doing all that I can do, when really it's about just stick with what you're doing. It works. they're just not ready, or they're just not doing what you've asked them to do. It has nothing to do with you not doing enough. So keep that in mind, because you're all going to go through that struggle too. We all go through this because we're dealing with busy mamas. Like sometimes it's just not the right timing, and we have to be okay with that. Okay, so then the fifth thing is check in regularly. We've already kind of talked about that, but this is why I do these team calls. This is why I will continue to stay in touch with you all, because we're a community. And again, my vision is lifelong friendship, lifelong community, like a gigantic team of amazing women who want to be better and know they need that extra sisterhood to keep them on the right track. And that's what this is doing for me. And so if you could just lead with that and think about that, I can't wait to have you guys grow your teams, see how all this just keeps exploding and expanding. I just cannot wait. And I just know it's going to happen. I literally know it's going to happen. But okay, so be extraordinary. So all those steps is kind of a lot. It's kind of a lot to wrap your brain around. But to be extraordinary, you're going to have to do extra. You're going to have to step above and beyond your comfort zone. You're going to have to think outside the box. You're going to have to think from your mama, the people that you want to attract. You're going to have to think from their perspective, and then we're going to have to stay consistent. So I'm going to run through those one more time. Choose what you want. Decide what you want. What do you want out of this business? And it's got to become so clear that someone can jump on your Facebook page in 30 seconds, and they can say, okay, well, I know who she is, and I know who she's trying to attract. Literally in seconds, they should be able to know what we want, who we are, and what we want. And then the second thing is communicate with the right people. Share your why, share your vision, make it very clear to anyone who talks to you, anyone who looks at your social media. And I know that Megan is on Instagram, and that platform is phenomenal with this, because it's basically snippets. It's snippets of who you are. And then if you can communicate just the right words, the right verbiage on that Instagram, and use the right hashtags, that's where this extra comes in. You're going to have to do a little extra work. But if you can do that, you're going to find your people on Instagram just like you are on Facebook. So continue to rock that. There's no reason why you have to learn to love Facebook, when I'm telling you, there are, I would say, more than half of the top coaches in our company grew their business on Instagram, not on Facebook. So don't even stress about that. It's just about finding a platform and being consistent. So collaboration on the plan. So if you are running into issues, if you're running into problems, or you want to make sure your challengers are doing well, or you're starting to grow a team, be transparent. Collaborate with them. Collaborate with me. Collaborate with everyone else on the team. This is what's working, this is what's not. I have a question. How can you help me with this? That's what we all have to do. Commit to the process, and then check in regularly. Reevaluate, check in, and make sure you're on the right track. So hopefully that was helpful, and it wasn't all over the place. But I think of anything, that big assignment that I mentioned in the call is still the same assignment. It's, what the heck are you doing this for? It cannot be a survival mode business. You've got to have a bigger purpose. And are you wanting to help? Again, my whole medical mom thing, I know how to relate to them. If you are a stay-at-home mom, if you are a mom that is struggling with a particular spirited child or difficult child, that's who you are. That's your daily life. What is it that you live in a daily life that you need a community around you to support that thing? And I know, April, you're my tribe, you're a medical mama, you totally get that whole thing. So that's what you lead with. You get it. You get the night shift. You get the grind, so anyone that you can help with in that world is exactly who you're talking to. Okay. All right. I'm done. I'm going to get off, because I'm so thankful that you guys got on, and I want to honor your time too. So any questions about anything at all? I did a little live video to kind of just get everybody's brains churning of the Core to Force that's coming out. I would love, love, love to do a combo app group with everyone on our team and make it gigantic. And I would love to do that the second week of the month in November, because the program comes out on November 1st. So we technically, nobody can even order until November the 1st. And so I was wanting to do a program. I was wanting to do a challenge group, Core de Force challenge group. Sorry, I'm making my calendar go down so I can see. On November the 7th. So April, what is your calendar schedule? I know you were kind of doing it just a little bit offset. So what do you have down?
Well, my next group would probably pretty much start November 7th is what I was looking at.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, and I think I'm going to post in our group. I'm going to take that picture, like I said, ASAP, and then I'm going to actually post the promotion that I'm going to be doing, just a little, so y'all have something to go off of, something helpful. And then I would love to do just a huge group, a huge app group, and we'll just I don't know exactly what we'll call it, but obviously something about F.I.T and something about, now you don't have to do the Core de Force workout, but as I mentioned in the video, we have to be doing the programs. So like if anything comes out new, whether we like Country Heat, I mean, I'm probably one of the few who is like absolutely in love with the program. But we still have to do them because that's the way we can speak to people who may be interested in it. And I'll be darned, like, guys, I dropped a few pounds and I'm like, what? Like, I don't drop pounds. Like, this doesn't happen. But, like, I just have relaxed and, like, had a good time and not focused on hardcore. Like, just give it a break, rest, and have fun this month. And, like, I feel so much better, and it's such a fun program. But the Core de Force is going to be hardcore. Like, and I'm pumping my brain. It's going to be hardcore. And so I'm so excited about it. So, if at all, I think the program for us is only going to be, like, $59. So as a coach, like if you're growing or you helped one person, we can afford $59. Like even if you help one person, we can afford that. So my goal is for all of the coaches to do Core de Force, if at all possible. And then if you're not, totally fine, no big deal. That's just like kind of my vision. And then ask people to join us to do it with us. And if they want to do it, like obviously we're going to lead like we always lead. You're going to say what would work best for you. There's a promotion. It's going to be on sale if you want to do this workout. Awesome. But if not, totally fine. We have all these other things. So lead like you always lead. But if someone is particularly interested, then of course we'll do that. But we'll just do, I feel like it would be helpful to just all come together again and do a big group and like be pumped up through the whole month of November so that we can eat what the heck we want on Thanksgiving and feel fine. So there's all kinds of fun ways we can attract people for this next group. So that's my plan on that.
Yes, I like that. I like us trying to all get together this next time. That sounds good to me.
I mean, I think that we need to do this quarterly. I think quarterly we need to all come together and just do a big old group, and that way we kind of connect again and be like, okay, now you can go back to your own thing. And then like, I just think it would be awesome to do that too.
I like it. I like it.
Oh, and then the spirit group, the spirit challenge, I can't remember exactly the name of it, but basically it's the same thing as the other push type promotion groups that Beachbody offers. The what the heck, I can't think of the names of the one we just
Team
did.
Cup? The Team Cup?
Yes, it's like the Team Cup. All it is that it's a particular group that Beachbody is naming a certain name to help us reach more people. It has nothing to do with anything different. We're doing the same thing that we always do. They just put a name on it and they're going to offer different prizes. So we all need to be enrolled in that. So I'm going to be looking into those details today and tomorrow and just see what I need to do to enroll everyone. And so I'll touch base on the group. I'll put a post up there and then you just say, I'm in, and we'll make sure everybody gets in.
Okay.
Okay, I think that's it. I feel like there was just like 3 things, but maybe that's it. Okay, any other questions? No? Okay, thank you. And Megan, it's so nice to meet you. I feel like I'm Megan, we've been in group for like 2 months. So I'm like, I've never heard Megan talk. Like you probably heard me talk because I get on live video on Facebook and stuff all the time. But I'm like, I was so glad when you said you were going to be on. Like, yay! So it just I love being able to connect in this way with y'all. So thanks for getting on. I know you are busy, so it really means a lot for me, for you guys to take the time to get on. So, and I'm going to do the recording. So absolutely make sure you guys listen back if you need to. And then if you need me for anything, please message me. And then of course, any questions you can post in the group so that we can all hear them. But okay, well, have an awesome rest of your week. Always so great to see you all. Okay, bye.
Bye.